Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Young Black Suburban. Today on our episode we have another actor. We love actors here. I don't know, I feel like sometimes like I'm an athlete. We want to be either musicians or actors. And I feel like a lot of musicians and actors want to be boxers for some reason. I don't know. But you guys play good boxers. But on our show, we have Nakia Dillard on today. How you doing, Nakia?
Oh, man, I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
This is my first time actually meeting you, so along with our audience, I'm going to be finding out a lot about you myself.
All right. Sound good.
Let's start where we should probably start.
All right.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Philly.
Okay.
Born and raised, and literally, I'm here. I'm down in Atlanta, but I'm here. I'm here right now.
All right. What part of Philly?
North Philly.
Like,
yeah, like.
you can name a street.
I want nobody running up on me.
But do you still live in the same neighborhood you were born?
Well, not the same one, but close to it. But I'm pretty much in North Philly.
Okay, cool. And so this isn't too far away from me for you. It took you wait.
Yeah, this wasn't bad. This wasn't a
30,
bad.
40 minutes?
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up in North Philly, though?
I mean, it was a different time. It was a time where, a lot of, because I was into the arts, people wasn't. There was something that was kind of like different for people, like TV and theater and all that stuff was like far. Like it wasn't like something you walk down the street and be like, oh, I'm gonna just go to this school or whatever it is. It was like the mentality was more of a hobby. Like if you said you wanted to act or whatever, it was like, what else you gonna do?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's been cool. You know what I mean? But it was rough. It was tough in a way where it's easy for people to get put off their square, far as because they don't want to see you in their eyes fail, or basically like get on a like a wild goose chase on a dream that may never happen kind of thing. But
basically, because you're probably one of the first people around to get to do what you're doing, it wasn't really a dream that people saw that could be possible.
Right. Yeah. So it was just the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Like they see you doing stuff, and when you tell people this is what you want to do, they kind of, talk you out of it in a way.
Right. How old were you when you got into the arts? How old?
I was 14.
14.
Yep.
So you're in North Philly. Like I'm familiar with the areas. That's why I asked you where specifically. You didn't want to tell me. I'm sorry. I only go where there's free food anyway. So, but North Philly is not a neighborhood known for extracurricular activities as much. At 14 years old, what made you think, wow, I'm gonna go and go into the arts and become an actor?
Well, it was I loved watching TV, man. Watching the Cosby Show, watching cartoons, watching different things, and I happened to hear a commercial on the radio about an acting school, and it was right at Broad and Master called Freedom Theater. So I ended up going there. And that's how I got my start.
You just walked in, or did you call them?
Well, it was, you had to call and set it up and all of that.
Okay, but they were accepting people, anyone?
Pretty much. I mean, you had to audition to get in. But once you got past the audition part, you was pretty much in there. You had to pay that money. Once you paid that money, you was in there.
Tuition, right? So do you remember your audition?
No, I don't. Actually, it's crazy because it was my first audition. So when I got in there, I literally forgot every word, man. So I don't know. It was by the grace of God that I even made it into that school. Because they easily could have said no. And if they would have said no, I don't know where I would be, what type of person I would be today.
Right.
But they gave me that opportunity, and once I got in the door, I had to kind of step up.
Right. Now, was this a school only for the arts? Did you go to regular public school at the same time, or?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you would go to regular public school and then go there after school?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I started, it was a summer program. So it was like from 9 o'clock in the morning to like 4 in the afternoon. And then, but that was during the summer. But then during the fall, we would go after school. So it'd be like from, what was it, like 4:30 to 6:30 or 7 o'clock, something like that. And but yeah, so we learned dance, singing. What else did we learn? Mainly acting. Yeah, it was singing, dance, and acting at Freedom Theater. And my regular school, I didn't really tell them what I was doing. Yeah, it was like I didn't like do, how people do the school plays, and so I didn't do anything. I didn't do none of that.
They had it at your school though?
Yeah, they did have it, but I just felt like.
So you were hiding your talent.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that was because of the perception that it would put on you? Or?
A little bit, yeah, because I just didn't. I like to keep my peace safe. So at Freedom Theater, I could like, go in, and it was people that I was working with that was on the same page. Like, they was working hard, they was doing stuff. But I was in regular school, in the plays, they was playing around, goofing off, so I wasn't about that,
So at an early age, you already were looking at it as like taking it serious as a career.
Yep.
Do you feel like when you first went in the Freedom Theater, that's when you got your bug, or did you have it before you even got there?
Freedom, it introduced me to the bug. I didn't know what the bug was. I just know I wanted to be involved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got in there and I started seeing people, so my teachers were actors too. So I would see them perform, and that just kind of like lit a fire. Then the classmates, they were amazing in class. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, I need to come harder. You know what I'm saying? When I come to class. So it was fun, man. Right. But it was definitely inspiring those days.
So what's the process like at Freedom Theater? Is there a graduation, or do you just go there? Like, you could be a professional actor. Let's just say, I don't know why Jamie Foxx came to my head. First thing, unfortunately, he's in trouble. But a big time actor, Will Smith, can come back to the Freedom Theater and just spend a day practicing there.
I mean, see, the thing with acting, you never stop learning. It always evolves. So it's not like a graduation kind of thing. I mean, you can do that, but you still may need training. Like, it's still people that have master's degrees, graduated from 4-year colleges, and they still take class.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just not a like a one-time, I got it kind of thing. Yeah. So it's ever you always learning, always. Right. Yeah.
So me, as someone who's never been to acting class, this is what I think acting class is. Mm-hmm. You have a teacher in front, you have a whole bunch of aspiring actors here, and the teacher calls somebody up and they say, okay, cry. And you have to cry on the spot in front of the whole.
Nah, it'll be like that. Everything is a process. It's like, you ain't warm up and they just say get up and just box.
Right.
You got to warm up. You got to get to that
Sometimes
space.
I do just go out there and box though, but I've been doing it for years already. So
it depends.
Yeah.
But you know what your body can do. You know what I'm saying? But even still, you still gotta just warm. You may feel it tomorrow. Like, you get up and beat somebody up, but you gonna feel it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's the same mindset. You gotta basically prepare. You gotta, like, usually when they call you up for something, you already have something prepared, like some homework or something they already gave you. Right. So it's not as much as that. You know what I'm saying? But. Yeah. But it, you usually know.
Like, what if it was like me, and I wanted to go into an acting class my first day. I've been an athlete or not even thinking about acting. Do you think that, this is a hard question, but that it could grasp somebody like me on the first day?
When you say first day,
because,
like jump up
going
and
there
just
because
do
like no, like not that I'm going to be an actor on the first day, but like you're mentioning these warm ups and different things that you have to do in class. Is it an interesting thing? Of course, it's interesting to you, but would you think me, someone that's getting hit in the face every day?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, you got people. I mean, like Cassius Clay. He was an actor. A lot of like right now they just did a film on George Foreman. Then George Foreman used to do commercials and stuff like that. So it just depends on what you want. You know what I mean? Like
the specific class structure.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get all that. you're gonna get the structure. You're gonna learn how to talk in front of the camera. You're gonna learn how to talk in front of people. That's the main thing. What else? And then you get a chance to, feel out different things because you got to go into the mind of these characters. Like what makes them these people.
Right.
So it's a lot of psychological
and that's the part
stuff.
Where the home actor, the person that thinks that they can do it, needs to go to a structural place.
Right.
I'm having trouble, like, you're not the first actor that's been here, but I'm having trouble every time an actor comes here and they say I have to take myself to that place. How do you take yourself to that place?
Well, a lot of times it's through the training, through different techniques. Like it's this technique called Stanislavski method. And Stanislavski was basically like you remember a situation and you kind of it's like you remember something that happened to you and you kind of put yourself back in that space of how you felt, like what made you mad or whatever it is. Like, so it's different techniques that can get you to where you need to go. And that's what the class usually explores. Different techniques, see what works, because every technique it doesn't work for everybody. So, you might like, different, just different ones. Like, you may have to breathe before you go into, like, it's a lot of different ways to get at on the same page.
Yeah, like they said,
you see what I'm saying?
There's like method actors and there's actors that have to like be that person for a whole year, like they actually become that person.
Yeah, some people, that's their method, that's their style.
Jim Carrey did that a lot. I saw a documentary where he played somebody and he was like annoying people because he wouldn't break character.
Andy
even
Kaufman.
At home. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman, that was crazy. So you're
excuse me,
in the process of learning. You're 14 years old and plus. When do you feel like you're ready to take on big jobs? You're ready to get out there and put your face out there?
When I was 14?
When you were 14, you were ready, huh? First day.
Well, no, I mean, it took a while, but the thing is with anything, I mean, just like when you stepped into the boxing ring, you had to know that you was ready. Yeah. Same thing with acting.
I think that I was just thrown in there to the wolves.
But
learn trial. Somebody.
But what
said
makes you go back? What makes you go back to it?
They threw me in there again. I guess to relate to things, for me, I just had a passion for it. It's just I was gonna do that no matter what. That's how I felt. Like I was born to just fight.
Okay.
And I guess some actors probably feel that way too.
Right.
We have some actors that were young, Drew Barrymore and all those people. I would want to pick their mind and say, hey, is this like all you ever wanted to do? Is this what you thought you wanted to do? How about you? Did you have any, before you were 14, did you want to be a basketball player, football player, like me?
Nah, I ain't want to do none of that.
Nah.
Actually, I wanted to be a cartoonist. That's what I draw in things now, but yeah, that was my first intro to the arts, was like reading comic books and drawing comic books and things like that. But I just loved superheroes, like watching Superman and Batman and different people like that. And I just saw myself there, like doing that.
Right.
And then, once I, took a class and kind of like saw how to do it. Then I just pushed myself to audition for things, and I didn't book everything, but sometimes just the repetition of going and showing up, and you never know what's on the other side of that situation just by going.
Right.
So sometimes people talk themselves out of stuff, like, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not. You're never ready, honestly. I mean, even if you go out on a audition, or say you about to do a fight, like, you could be extremely ready, and then something happens, like Murphy's Law is always working.
Right.
So you got to be like water and kind of flow with whatever happens. So long as you're prepared with what you're supposed to do, anything else is possible.
And you're making me think about more questions about your childhood. Like, asking these questions. Did you grow up in a 2-parent household?
No, single mom.
Single mom.
My father passed away when I was 4.
Okay.
So I didn't really have any male figures in my life until I started going to Freedom Theater. Like, my teachers and different people would, like, just kind of like, take me on, and if I had questions about stuff, they was kind of there. Then, just kind of like just working with different people, and it just kind of like grew me into who I am today.
Right, but you told me that you didn't really want to let the other people in the neighborhood or at school know what you were doing. Was your mom nurturing your goals the whole time?
Well, in the beginning, because I was a really shy kid, so in the beginning it was more like, okay, if he asked me again, like, I asked her about it, and if it was like, I came to her multiple times, and she's like, okay, because because she was a single mother,
right?
Single, working 2 and 3 jobs and doing different things, and it just was it was kind of tough. Like, even just going to the acting school was tough, money wise at that time, and but again, it was a blessing that I was able to do that, because it literally changed my life and changed who I actually was. Because I was, like I said, when I was extremely shy, it was hard for me to hold conversations and stand up in front of people, and now I do it all the time.
Right.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know this version of me then.
Right.
So, and I work on this every day. I still work, like, I still learn something new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much tuition was?
Maybe like 1,000 or something like that. This was in '88 though.
right.
What I'm saying?
But still,
so it was a different time. It was a lot of money for
Were you only child?
Only child.
Yeah.
Didn't have brothers, sisters.
Right.
I had a brother that was on my father's side, but again, my father died, so I didn't meet him until later, and then he ended up passing away.
Wow.
So it come to find out, like, I just maybe two years ago, I just found out that I'm an uncle.
Wow.
And so I have
congratulations.
Yeah. So I've been looking for, like, his kids and things, and they kind of found me.
Right.
So it's just amazing how, like, God works.
Right. Exactly.
So
you're going on your career path as a actor. All right. Do you remember your first real big gig that you got?
My first big gig.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my first time ever on stage was a big deal to me.
It was in a theater.
It was at a theater.
Okay,
Yeah, I did a lot of
live.
theater.
Yeah,
I did a lot of live theater for years.
Which is a whole...
That's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love it though. Like, I just did a play maybe 2 years ago, right when the pandemic kind of started, but we did a virtual play. So we didn't have an audience, but we still filmed it. And it was fun, man. It was just fun to get back on stage and, just feel that energy. So it was good.
Right. Sometimes when you're on that stage, things don't go right, and you gotta use some of those skills that you learned.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Make sure that it works out. It's crazy how that, just talking about that with you, gives me anxiety. But I have no problem with going in the ring and having that kind of situation. I equate the both of them. You know, you're going and performing and entertaining people. You're just not getting hit in the face.
Right.
But you
you could.
You could get hit in the face.
You
have critics.
You got critics, and then say if because we do stage combat on stage too. You know, so if we're not rehearsed properly, like, it's a certain way and style that you do combat, and if you're not paying attention, you might get hit in the face.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can get knocked out on
Might get your
stage.
hand slammed in the door.
Slammed in the door. Like I actually was in a play one time where we had a new actor, and he wasn't sure of everywhere to go, the blocking, and the set ran over his foot, and he had to go get rushed to the hospital, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. But those are things that, happens.
Yeah.
So it could be just as dangerous.
Right.
This vice versa, like getting knocked out or getting hurt, getting harmed.
Right. How was it your first
My first play?
Your first play.
My very first play was invigorating in a way, because it was like, I had the audience, I had to make sure I had my lines. I was bouncing off of my actors. So yeah, man, it was great. But then, I did a lot of theater, and then I went into started doing short films, and then I got into it like that. And then one of the biggest jobs I did was The Wire.
Okay.
My very first
nice
like union job was The Wire.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have a main role in that? Were you a character in that?
Yeah, I had lines.
I watched the whole well,
I'm on the third season.
You're on the third season?
I ain't have all this though.
Okay, all right.
I look different, So you probably know that. Yeah, I look different, but yeah, I played a cop, Sergeant Lambert.
Okay, not my claim to fame, but we all know I was an extra in Creed.
Oh, okay. I was in Creed too.
The first one.
Yep. I was in the first.
So I got to meet Wood Harris, who was also
nice.
in The Wire.
I'm trying to think if I could have been there, because I was on the bad. The guy, he was fighting at the end. The bad guy, whatever it was. I was on his squad.
Okay, I was in my scene was supposed to be one of the first scenes in the movie where he loses his car keys to Andre Ward.
Okay.
Which Hollywood is so great, because that scene is supposed to take place in California, but they shot it here in North Philly in a 7-Eleven or something that they converted into a boxing gym. It was snowing outside, but they had big lights that shine through the window to make it look like sunny California, and I'm like, wow.
It's amazing how they do this stuff, man.
Fake weights, people. But Rocky is a hard movie to shoot, because if you got to jump rope, you jumping rope all day long.
Take after take, man. Yeah.
I was getting sick just fake talking. Like, I was just pantomiming in the back. I'm like, when is this going to be over? But when you're on sets like that, I don't know about The Wire. I'm assuming that was a big HBO hit. The production is great.
Yeah.
The food is great.
Oh, the food is amazing, man. Nothing like the food, the craft services, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that like the highlight for you, to be on shows like that where everything's taken care of?
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. I do like that energy when you come in. They have everything for you. They have a trailer.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. But I just love it all, man.
Right.
Like you said, like those long days. It's very long days on set. Like it could be 14-hour days.
Right.
And they may only do two to three scenes. You know what I mean?
That.
Yeah. So they do the different camera angles and get it from over here, get over the shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be all day, man. But TV moves a little faster than movies. So like with it depends. It really depends on the show. Like Black Lightning, when I did that show, I think I had to be on set at like 1:00 in the afternoon. I think we shot my scene around 6:30 in the evening. Then I had another scene, so I didn't wrap till 6 a.m. But I was there from 1 in the afternoon till 6 a.m.
Getting that good money though.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Getting that good money.
It's all good, you know what I mean?
So you see certain actors don't only do movies.
Mm-hmm.
Certain actors only do television. Certain actors only do theater.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because they think that they're too good to do other things? Is there like a little unknown hatred would be way a bad thing to say, but is there an unspoken like, I'm theater, I don't want to do TV? Or
Sometimes.
I'm TV, I don't want to do...
Some people feel like that. I mean, some people have their comfort with what they like to do. Like some people just enjoy just that live audience, and it's a different thing. Like when you're on film, you know, it's no audience, so you don't really know if you're like selling the character, if people really getting it.
Right.
Like in theater, so when you walk on stage, and if they don't like you or they love you, you hear it. They clapping, they booing you, but you get that instant energy. So for theater actors, sometimes it could be different because everything is delayed. So once like we shoot this, and we may not see it until a year later or whatever,
right.
And then when you see it, you're like, dang, why they use that take or whatever. So you kind of thinking in your mind these things, but you know, it is what it is. But for me, I enjoy all mediums of it.
Yeah, it doesn't
you know, I love the theater, I love TV, I love film, indie film, like all of that, you know.
Now, are you big on social media at all?
Well, I am on there. I'm on social media. Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of like changed the platform for a whole bunch of people. You know, me as a business owner, I can go direct to consumer and show them my product, you know.
Right.
Do you ever think about starting your own?
I do.
Oh, you do? You have your own like online movies?
Yep.
Shows?
Online stuff that I've helped produce and things I've acted in. And even with my students, because I have an acting school.
Okay.
So they've actually, we produced some films, some projects. And
my producer thinks I need to go to podcast school because
I say go for it, you know.
I don't project enough. Yeah,
well, acting will help. Yeah, acting will help with that.
Yeah,
acting will definitely help with that. You know, because like I'm gonna tell you, like my very first film, so with theater, you know, you got to talk to the back of the house. So like right now, we got all these microphones and stuff like that, so I don't have to yell, and I'll still be picked up. But when my very first film, I was talking to the back of the house. So people on the boom mic and things like that, they're like, "Oh man, this guy is peeking like," because I'm talking like, "Hey guys, I'm all I'm all out." So, but then I had to learn. It's a different. You got to learn how to do that transition. Some people don't know how to do that transition, but yeah. So that was one thing that I had to learn. Was how to transition from theater to film to TV and the pacing of things and so all of that, all of that stuff.
And I guess you're a businessman too now. So you say you have your own acting school.
Yeah, I have an acting school.
When did you open that?
I opened that in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been good, man. I mean, like my students been booking. And before the pandemic, you know, we were in person, but now we're virtual. So we have students all over, man, from LA to New York, Texas, Connecticut, and they're all over the place.
Now, for me, I like to relate to my guests a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was a professional fighter, and the transition over to teaching for me was because I couldn't fight anymore, obviously. You can still act, right? Until forever.
So you don't box anymore?
I train, but I don't compete anymore.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm 38 years old, man. Hey,
I didn't know that, man. I thought you was like a young buckling up in there.
Can I live the rest of my life?
I thought you was like 20.
In boxing years, I should be shot in the back of the head out back somewhere in boxing years.
Oh man!
But you're transitioning into being a teacher now.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
Honestly, man, this wasn't something that I was even trying to do. It's just amazing how, like, God had opened these doors for me to kind of step in, because at the time, like, Freedom Theater was closing. So I was sending everybody there. But then when that door closed, I mean, it wasn't nothing for our youth. It wasn't nothing for people that was, wanting to do it or learn about it. So I just figured, I could help them. So I opened the school, and it's not just me. Like, I have professional working actors that also teach classes too. And so the beautiful thing is that not only are we teachers, we're mentors, because we actually like tell them how, like, things that we went through and how things change. Because a lot of, like, right now it's all virtual auditions. Like, you don't even have to go into a building like you used to.
Change the game. Huh?
Change the whole game, man. So now it's more people that can audition versus
from home.
Right. Exactly. So just learning that, but again, I have an amazing team that works with me, and like, one of my teachers, her name is Lenny Daniels. She was my teacher.
Okay.
When I was coming up. So now I brought her back in the mix, and she's still acting and directing and doing different things. And I have a young lady named Nicole Tucker, and we actually went to high school together, but we used to tour with different plays and things. So, like, we did a few movies together, and so she's still actively in the mix, and that was purposely done for me, because I wanted to have people that's in the industry in front of these people, so they could see that it's possible.
Right.
When I was in school, and still, I still take workshops and things, but I had to really look at who the teachers were, because sometimes people could just teach a class, and they've never been on stage, they never did anything, but they just have a good reputation of knowing how to maybe coach or something like that. But then again, when you don't walk it,
totally different.
it's a different, like with you've actually been doing it.
I'm glad you said it, because I was going to bring it up again.
Man.
There's a difference between, and it doesn't mean that they can't do it.
Right. I'm not knocking them.
But there's a difference between someone who's actually stepped in the ring, teaching somebody something, and somebody that never got hit in the face teaching something. It's just
it's two different things. So man. So that's why I actually set my classes up like that, And then I bring in directors to talk to them. I do bring in different, just industry professionals to talk to them. Like the show I'm on, The Wonder Years.
Wait, you're on that show right now?
The new black show.
Nobody fills me in on anything.
Oh yeah.
Nobody fills me in on anything.
You seen it?
No, I know that it exists though.
Okay. You should check it out.
What network is it?
Well, we're on ABC. We're on Hulu. We're on Disney.
Right.
I think those are the three right now. But
Nice.
But yeah, man, it's been a blessing. But one of the kids, he actually came and spoke to my class, and he's his name is Andrew, and he plays Hampton on the show, and he came and talked to my youth students, and he's 12 in the 10th or 11th grade, right? So 12.
And done high school?
Almost done high school. And he was saying how, because he's in acting school too, so he has his acting work that he has to do, he has his high school work he has to do, and he has the show work that he has to do.
At 12 years old.
And every week he has a new script. You see what I'm saying? So when I tell the kids that, and I brought him on, and they're like, oh, now my classes are only 1 hour a week, right? This kid is on TV 5 days a week, in school. It's no excuse, none.
Right.
If this kid can do it, you can definitely do it.
Right.
And he's an amazing actor, so it's like for them to see that. So that's why I bring different kids in to talk to them. I had some actors from Black Lightning come in and talk. One of our good friends is Trey Chaney from The Wire. He played Poop on The Wire.
Okay.
But he came in and talked, and just to keep, Chris Amuel, he plays TC on Black Lightning. He came in and spoke. Who else? Different directors.
Right.
Yeah, but it's been great.
Do you ever get someone that comes in and they think that it's going to be easy?
All the time.
That
every
one
day.
student every day.
People get in there, they inbox me. They're like, "Look, I want to be a star. How can I do that?" I'm like, I can't teach you that. I can't show you. You gotta have this passion in you that just want to work. From the work, you'll get recognized, and then that's when the stardom and all that stuff happens. But even if you never reach that, but if you get into the mix where you're in a show or whatever, as long as you're giving your all, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, man. You just got to give your all on auditions, give your all in class, give your all wherever you are, But this is not a one step. I mean, like I've been acting for over 30 years,
right?
And you still got to look me up. So it ain't about the stardom and all that. It's about I just enjoy what I do,
Yeah, the process of it.
Yeah.
So that's the next question, though. What keeps you motivated besides that?
I just have fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I just chase. I never feel like I'm working. Mm-hmm. Like learning the lines and stuff like that. But once you got it, and we rocking and we flowing, man, it's like I can't even describe that energy, man.
Do you kind of get high off of the success of nailing your lines and everything?
Yeah, it's fun, man. Like just knowing that you just killed that scene.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Nah. But so your friends and everything, your family, they all see you on TV and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between when you didn't want them to know until now they have to know. So,
but it's a difference now. I think my whole thing was, I was in a place where I was still like trying to figure me out, and I just didn't want no negative energy. So like I said with the high school, like they put plays on all the time, but I used to just see them not being serious.
Right.
And I just didn't want to put myself in that mix because I was serious, man. I was different.
You were already over the high school play.
I've been over that. like just how the people that I was around, that I was working with, they were inspiring me, like pushing me to be better. Mm-hmm. But then with the high school plays, it was more like I'll just do it if I feel like it, kind of like the energy was just completely different, and I couldn't be around that.
You would have liked the play that we helped out with, Rocky, the high school here. They won the rights to be the first school to put it on.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
We trained the kids here so they could learn like some proper technique. But then when I took my kids to go see the play, I couldn't believe how good the production was.
Wow.
They had pretty much everything on the stage moves. The house, then you flip it around and it becomes another house or whatever. The ring pull out. And these kids took it serious, man. You probably would have enjoyed that. But now the Rocky is going all over the country now.
Wow, that's awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, you should check that out. So not
I'd love
all
to see
high
that.
school kids, Truman High School kids.
Yeah, like
you did a great job.
Yeah, I mean that's good. See, but that's what I'm saying. Like it just was the kids I was around. But it was some schools. Some of these kids, man, they really serious about it. Some of the students that come into class are really serious, doing some amazing work. So,
now, for yourself, did you ever get into any music? You ever do any musicals or any singing?
Oh, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, I did musicals. That was mainly what I did. Like, we used to tour around the different schools. I worked with this company called the Rainbow Company. And that's honestly, like, where working with that company really lit the fire in me. Working with the kids. The kids used to write the plays, the shows that we would do.
Right.
So we would come in as the professional actors, but the kids would write the stories for us. And some of these stories was amazing, man. Just the fact it came from kids. And then they had to write songs. So then we had to rap or sing or whatever it was. We had to dance. It was fun, man. We just had a good time. And that was my teacher, my acting teacher, because we couldn't really, like I said, we kind of couldn't afford to keep going, but my acting teacher had his own school, and he was a working actor. His name was Ricardo Martin. Amazing dude, man. But if it wasn't for him, you know, bringing me in on the production, the theater company, like that was another door that was like, you know, if I didn't do this, I don't know where I would be, because I met so many people. Some of the people that was in The Wire actually was in some of these shows. So it was a young lady named Joylette Harris.
Right.
She just passed away, unfortunately, but she was on The Wire the third season, but we was all a part of this organization. Kamal Bostic Smith, he was in The Wire. Elvis Nolasco, he's on Godfather of Harlem, but he was in the cast. So it was just so many great, amazing people. So I was working with these greats, man. So it didn't allow you to play. Like you had to step up to the plate and get busy. You know what I mean?
It was a job.
It was a job.
Yeah. Now, I had an interview with an actor, rapper. You might have heard of him. He's from Lords of the Underground. You ever hear that rap group? Yeah. Dupre Kelly. And he used to tell me, well, he didn't used to tell me, he told a story about how him and Tretch from Naughty by Nature, they always would have acting jobs. And how, no, I'm sorry, it's not Tretch.
Well, Tretch did act.
Yeah, he did act.
Yeah, he's still acting.
What's the good-looking dude that played in The Wood, that show? Oh my gosh. Well, let's just pretend it was Tretch. All right? Okay. We can pretend it was Tretch. It was one of them guys. But he would say that they would go for the same roles. And Tretch would always get the roles over him. Did you ever have a rivalry guy where you guys looked similar? You guys had the same kind of acting skills that you kind of competed together?
Not really.
Never had a competitor?
No. Not really like that. I mean, like, you know, being at the theater, you know, the theater school, we all had to audition for the same part. So sometimes they would get it, I wouldn't get it, or whatever. Right. But it was like we were all in the same class. So it wasn't like a rivalry. It was kind of like friendly competition in a way. Right. You know, we kind of rooted each other on. It wasn't really like that. Like, dang, Tretch, you getting all my roles? No, it wasn't like that.
Well, because the entertainment business can be a rough business.
Oh, it definitely is.
Have you experienced some rough times as an actor?
Which
you would consider tough?
I mean, like this is one industry where you see the word no, but don't hear the word no. You know, you go out for an audition, could tear that audition up, man. You're like, dang, I know my phone about to ring. And then you see the commercial or you see the movie, like you're like, dang, I audition for that. So you see that.
Right.
But I mean, the other woes of the business, you know, sometimes you may not get paid right, or it's always it could be an issue, a situation. That that part.
It's a rough business.
Yeah.
So like right now, like you have your school and everything, but currently you as an actor, what are some of the things that you're working on? You said the Wonder Years.
Right.
Is that your main focus right now, or?
Well, I'm in a couple different things. I'm on BMF.
Okay.
So the Wonder Years, I worked on Black Lightning. Trying to think, it was another project.
And how do you do all these projects and still find time to come here? how does that work?
Hey man, I just make it happen, man.
Yeah. So, are you on set with these shows? You have to go.
Yeah, I'm on set. Yep. So I shoot a lot in Atlanta.
Okay.
So all those shows are pretty much in Atlanta, but I'm back and forth. I help produce projects. I help. I do a lot, man. I cast, so I get actors jobs.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I have today. I have like 3 actors working on a set today.
Nice.
Yeah, right from the class, and yeah.
Atlanta is a place with a lot of like entertainment and a lot of flourishing things happening.
Yeah.
The music scene has always been big out of Atlanta. I think even The Walking Dead shoots in Georgia. I don't know if they shoot around Atlanta, but I know they shoot in Georgia.
Yeah, they shoot out there. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between the art scene, let's say the art scene in Atlanta
Versus here.
versus Philadelphia? Yeah.
It's more of it down there. You know, you have different studios and things like that. So I would say the difference is just the mindset. And that's why I say you have to see it. So like with Philly, we may get a project here and there, you know, but it's not like where you see it all the time. Like if you go up to New York, you can walk down the street and see film trucks and things like that. So when you see it, you're like, all right, I need to study this so that I can be better, so I can be on these sets or shows or whatever. But in Philly, it's more like
you gotta wait for a show to come to you. Almost.
You gotta wait for a show to come, but also they could do a church play, and their head is crazy big. You know what I mean?
There's nobody else in town doing another church show.
It's that, but then it gets to the point where people don't want to train too because they think they're there already. They did this show, they did this and that. But people in New York, people in LA, people in Atlanta stay in class. They stay working their craft, stay getting better.
When you first started, did you know that Atlanta was big for
like shows
and stuff and acting?
No, not at that time.
Right.
Like I just started working in Atlanta, maybe like 2017.
Okay.
Something like that. So it was either 16 or 17. That's when I was a part of Black Lightning. That was my first project that I did in Atlanta.
Right.
And then it was the Wonder Years. I did a movie called Peace in the Valley. It's been actually doing really good. Like it's not out, but it's been like the
and all that.
Yeah, like the indie film festival circuit and things like that. It's been going. It's been really grabbing up awards and things,
nice.
But and I haven't even seen it.
You're in it, but
I'm in it, you know. That's what I'm saying. You just, you know, so
yeah.
So yeah, but
before you went to Atlanta though, as a young actor, let's say, did you ever think like, man, I'm gonna go out to Hollywood or I'm gonna move to New York? Was that something that was on your mind, or did you were just on go?
I just was on go.
Yeah.
Like it just was, but it's crazy because like I have a lot of friends in LA, a lot of friends in New York, and they would always say, "Oh man, you need to come move up to New York. You need to move to LA." But I was literally nonstop working from 14 till now.
Right.
Like literally, I've never had a break in my career.
Have you had a regular job?
Oh yeah, I've had some regular jobs. Yeah. But I you know, they were more like the acting was my main thing. So even while I was working, I was at night, I was in rehearsals. Because when I was doing a lot of theater, it was like my evenings always was busy, always was taken. But during the day, I would just, you know, work a regular job and things like that.
A lot of people do that until they make it. You know, I don't know a boxer that didn't have a real job, or if they didn't have a real job, they were so good that someone paid them to make boxing their job. But you know, I would assume in acting it's the same way, where unless you land a big role, you have to find a way to make money, you know. So you're kind of like a starving artist at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, definitely.
So, do you feel like you're out of that phase, or do you know, like the work is it steady?
It has its times, it has its dips, you know, from time to time, you know. But it's like you can create different doors to happen for you, you know. So you just got to kind of stay looking in the future of what can happen, what more can I do, what can I add to what I'm doing now, and you know, you just got to kind of just keep that window open. Some people that just kind of stay in those dips, like we talked earlier, like you said, oh, I'm just going to do theater, I'm just going to do this. And then like when the pandemic hit, it was no theater.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
Right.
You going to, you know, jump on some of these films, or are you, because it wasn't like you could teach a physical class, so it was all virtual. So how are you going to pivot? So you got to understand, how can you pivot in different situations happen, you know?
Yeah, and that goes back to the social media thing too, where anybody right now, if I wanted to, well, we're doing it right now on the podcast, but if you wanted to create your own show, or
you got a phone.
Yeah, exactly. You have a phone. Have you seen like some of your friends or whatever like change their lives through social media, or have you seen anybody who was acting and then all of a sudden now they're getting thousands of likes on the internet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the social media thing, if you work it right, you know, you can really make things happen. Like the beautiful thing is you can be in front of people that you be in a room before you even get there.
Right.
You know, because they've seen your page, somebody tagged you, or they just fell on your page somehow. They may fall on your page and be like, oh, wow, I didn't know this guy was in this show or whatever. Now they watching you. And then they can just inbox you and say, hey, I got this project, blah, 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 blah.
Makes
and that's happened.
Smaller, right?
Right, makes everything smaller.
You've gotten jobs from your inbox?
Oh, yeah. I've gotten a lot of, just through social media.
Right.
Mostly all of my students are from, like, social media. You know, not the people that I know or that know me. It's people that I don't know.
Right.
That follow me, that refer people to me and things like that. So, because like even with this,
right?
Like I didn't know anything about this, you know what I'm saying? But
hey man,
I ain't know y'all suckers.
hey. But not exactly. The world is a lot smaller. So you know what would be an ideal job for you right now? You've evolved probably a million times since being 14.
Right, definitely.
So your goals are probably different. You are doing some pretty good things, but what's something that you really inspire to try to get to?
Honestly, I just more of what I'm doing. Like I enjoy helping actors. I enjoy seeing the youth, doing different things. Like one of my students, he's 67, and he just booked a role on New Amsterdam.
Nice.
So just showing people that it's possible. You know what I mean? Like, because some people, again, like if you got the wrong people in your ear, like even with the story about the young lady that was on the older woman that was on Black Panther. She wasn't even going to audition for that. Like her grandkids was like, you should audition for, grandma or whatever. She was like, that's a cartoon. I ain't auditioning for. And then it ended up being $1 billion film.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's crazy because that's what happened to me. Not like in Wakanda or whatever, but with the Creed thing, I had put my name in there because somebody told me to do it. And then I didn't even get picked to be an extra. And then out of nowhere, they called me. And they asked me, what weight are you? And whatever. I told them, and they said, okay, come down. It was like they called me, and then like 2 days later, I was eating lobster and steak with craft services. Which I actually,
like that.
when I was there, I learned a little bit about the union, and you're a part of it, right?
Right. The Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah. So, could you explain a little bit to our viewers what the benefits of being part of
the union?
Yeah, the Actors Union.
Well, the Actors Union, the Screen Actors Guild, is more about protection. Like if people don't feed you on time, pay you on time, like if you book a job, they're there to make sure that everything is comfortable and the way it's supposed to go for you. Right. And if it don't go like that, you can call them and say, hey, I did this on set and they didn't feed me on time or whatever, and you can call and it's a fine. They can fine the production company. The one thing about the union especially with the Screen Actors Guild, they don't find you work. And that's what other people think, that once I join SAG, I'm gonna be working all the time. Nah, man, you ain't gonna be working. Nope, you gonna be still auditioning, right. Still gotta pump, you still gotta get out there, and you gotta work harder now, because now you're in a different pool of people. Now, like with me being in the Screen Actors Guild, I might do a film that has Denzel in it, and they may be auditioning for the role or whatever it is.
Right.
I'm in the same boat with them, So it's just a different versus like if you were doing independent films, and it might be somebody's cousin that might get the role because they just know their cousin or whatever. But it's the same thing, and it's a lot of nepotism, But it's about who you know, and if they know of you, they like your work, But it doesn't have anything to do with the union.
Right.
You getting these opportunities, so you still got to keep working.
Still got to grind, right?
Still got to grind.
Now, do they give you other things, like if you get injured on the job, do you get any like medical coverage?
Yeah. You'll get all of that, but then you have to make a certain amount of. You got to make a certain amount of money in SAG to get health benefits and things like that. So you got to be careful, man. You can't be on set acting a fool. You be like, I'm calling the SAG. They're gonna be like, well, what you was doing that for?
Right.
And now you just broke up.
Hey, I had a great question that just escaped me about the union, but well, obviously it costs money to be a part of it. Right?
Yeah.
How much do they charge you?
Well, now because it merged.
What? I'm trying to find out, man. Maybe I'm trying to find out. Shit.
Yeah, three G's. Yep. Exactly.
$3,000 a year?
No, not a year.
Oh,
it's just
$3,000 and you're good.
You got to pay dues. So depending on how much you work that year, things like that, you got to pay dues. But it used to be, what people used to do was go through AFTRA, and then because SAG was like the sister company, you could easily get into SAG like that. But now because they merged, you got to pay that $3,000.
So they essentially put a monopoly on the union. Because you don't have another option.
Ain't no other option. No, that's it.
So they Don Kinging people.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's right.
People, but I guess certain actors can't even act without it because they're so big. They need to be paying that, and then to them, I guess it's peanuts. It doesn't matter.
But it's just for protection. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure you're good.
Because someone did tell me that if I joined the union, that if like a production came to town, that you would be referred first.
No,
that's not true.
No, no. Like SAG don't get you jobs, man. So even if you were a SAG right now, you still, like I said, you got to audition.
Right.
You got to still show and prove and do your thing, and that's how you get on.
Right. I told Wood Harris. I said, I would so much rather get punched in the face than do this every day. I'm fake talking, getting sick, fake talking. It's a hard job. People think that, that's why I asked you the question earlier. People call you up and just think that they can do it.
Yeah, all day.
No, there's a process.
Yeah, definitely.
From when you go to wardrobe in the morning to when they say, all right, that's it for the day.
Yep.
It's a real job, man. So,
like I said,
I respect
14.
you in that way.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but people think that it's because we only see the finished product.
Right.
We see the show for half an hour or an hour. Go to the movies, it's an hour and
but it's 2
some
months
change.
of work, right?
It could have been 3 years of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that also gave me the appreciation for actors as well, because like we said, 14 hours a day. Some of these, I guess there are stunt doubles and stuff like that, but some of these guys are jumping off of buildings or doing action scenes like John Wick or something like that.
Or
The
Tom
Matrix,
Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I can understand why the pay is good for them. I would be. You have to probably train months just to do the scenes.
Yeah.
So
and that's all choreographed. All of that is choreographed.
It's acting, right? Yeah.
So it's just, so even with that, like I said earlier, you could be just one false move can throw the whole thing off, you know. And they're doing that all day long. So the one you only saw them do one jump. They done did that about 200 times.
200 times, and then changed the camera and did it
again.
200 times. So, you know, we talked about your projects and everything. So I guess we don't really have to. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
All right. What are you currently acting on?
Working on the Wonder Years. Working on BMF. Working on a couple indie films. Doing an acting class, helping that. I'm producing, I'm directing.
Nice. What's the name of your school?
It's called I Can Axe.
I Can Axe. That's what was sent to me.
Oh,
I Can Axe.
Okay.
So you're the owner.
Yep, I'm the owner, founder of it. And it's been a blessing. Truly been a blessing.
Well, it's been a blessing you coming in and talking to us.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
We're not done yet, though. We're not done. We got a little bit more to go.
Okay, all right.
Just a little bit more. We just got to change these cameras around here and start from the beginning.
Oh, man. Okay.
Scene 2.
Scene 2.
Take 2. But no, so what I do in the end of my podcast is I give my the person I'm interviewing a chance to send a message to the world.
Okay.
Any message that you want to send, it doesn't have to be about what we were talking about.
Okay.
But this is your chance to freestyle that to the world.
All right, cool. Well, what I would say to anybody that's watching out there, just really work on your mindset. You could basically achieve anything, but you just have to really protect your peace, you know. Feed yourself with positive images, read affirmations, tell yourself that, one, you're beautiful, that, you know, you're talented, you know, give yourself different phrases like that. And like even with my school, it's called I Can Act, you know. So when they say the name of the school, it already says that they can act, you know. And so I just definitely just say continue to follow who it is that you would like to be. Study, train, do what you need to do, but everything is on the other side of that first step that you take to get there.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that was our episode today with actor Nakia Dillard. Yeah. It was a pleasure. I'm glad that I got to know you and find out about
man. You. Yeah, definitely.
Now
man.
I'm gonna go on Hulu because I pay for the subscription and I never watch it.
Yeah, you better use it. You better use that thing, man.
And I'm gonna look for you in the Wonder Years. What's your character's name?
Lucius Clemens.
Lucius Clemens. All right.
So I play the father of the little girl that he likes.
Okay, cool.
Named Kisa. I'm Kisa's dad on the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was this episode of the Young Black Suburbans. If you like what you saw today, please like, share, and subscribe. Other than that, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
We don't know when this is